This morning I was washing my face and I heard, what happens when your fear causes you not to listen? And I had to consider that. I remember one of the times I was most afraid, I was coming to the point where I could no longer ignore the red flags that were in my relationship, and I needed to make a choice. But I was afraid. I was afraid of being alone. I was afraid of raising 2 kids by myself. I was afraid of another broken engagement. I was afraid of not having someone to take care of my son and our daughter together while I went to work. I was afraid of losing my apartment or not being able to provide for my family. I was afraid of ruining my credit or even not being able to buy my first home. And so with one fear came 2 fears and many, many more. And those are just some of the fears I had that caused me to stay longer than I should have stayed and to stay in a relationship I shouldn't have even been in. And I shouldn't have even been in this relationship because I was warned. And I was warned multiple times by multiple different people. And one of those people were my brother. And he was just sharing with me that the man I had fallen in love with, the man that I believed that he wasn't actually that man. And that I was being deceived. And I couldn't hear that. I couldn't listen to that because I'd already made a choice to love him. I'd already made a choice to be with him. I already made a choice to believe instead of watching his character greater than I listened to what he was saying to me. And so in Proverbs, it talks about when we make a choice not to listen. So it says in Proverbs 13:18, poverty and disgrace come to him who ignores instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is honored. So I absolutely was ashamed because of the relationship I was in. It was so embarrassing because he was so angry, because the things that he was saying and doing behind closed doors eventually was seen in public, and it was embarrassing. Also, with me taking care of my children, of him and myself on my own, when that wasn't our agreement, caused me to be in a lot of poverty. Another thing that happened was, it says that he who heeds reproof, that means correction, is honored. And so as soon as I decided that I was going to listen, as soon as I decided that I was going to humble myself and talk to my family and the different people that had warned me and told me not to make this decision and not to go in that direction, as soon as I put down my pride and picked up being humble, then my whole life changed around. God provided daycare for my children. He provided peace for me and for my children. He provided a home where I was able to buy at a really good time in our economy. And he did exceedingly abundantly more than I could have ever asked or imagined. I never thought that I could be at peace and be single. I never thought that I could love myself the way I love myself, know myself the way I know myself, and raise my kids in the way that I'm able to with God and with the people that He's put in our life to care for us and to do life together. I never would imagine that, but I never would have had that life if I didn't have the courage to listen and the courage to humble myself instead of being prideful. Another scripture says in Proverbs 29:1 that he who is often reproved yet stiffens his neck will suddenly be broken beyond healing. And so what this is saying is someone that's often or continually corrected in an area, a lot of times in their pride, they will rebel or try to prove somebody wrong or say, yeah, I know, but do the opposite of what they know. And that's dangerous because it says that suddenly this person will be broken beyond healing. And I'm thankful that I wasn't broken beyond healing. I know that God does not want it for you to be broken with beyond healing. He doesn't want your choices and your lifestyle and the way that you live day to day, month to month, year to year, to cause it to be where your life is permanently disformed, where your life is so broken that it's beyond you being healed, where your life looks like every one of the choices that you continue to make, and wouldn't humble yourself enough to listen to those that God put in your path to help you get back up and get on the right path and go the right direction. And so I pray for you on your journey. I pray that you will not be so afraid to listen, and that you will not allow your pride to keep you in bondage. I pray that you will make the choice to go a different direction and go further and in the right path in your journey, so that you don't have to live a life that's broken without being able to be healed. That's not what God has for you. I don't want that for you either, and I pray that you don't want that for yourself. Don't allow fear and your pride of not listening to cause this hurt in your life. You can have a life that's hopeful. You can have a life that's more abundant. You can have a life that is blessed and has peace, but you have to make different choices, and that's what I pray for you. Take care. Thank you.